So lately I've been having some pretty interesting conversations with you in the comments because I'm seeing things like, hey, didn't you say that thing, not to start a niche and build a movement and be free? That was a video that I did quite a while ago that probably pulled most of you into my community. So today I want to offer some clarity about, the difference between the common way of thinking about a niche and the mission-led niche. Because when you are picking a formal niche, it is like boxing yourself in. But when you're using your mission to drive everything that you do, your mission becomes more of a compass than a box. So let me explain. Many of you, including myself, the idea of boxing yourself into a niche just feels like it's like a non-option. The idea of having to talk about the same old shit every single day for however long you're going to be in this game for, it's just not an option. So often, if you choose not to niche, you end up creating content that ends up kind of being a little bit all over the place. Like this week you're talking about this, next week you're talking about that, blah, blah, blah. And you might find that if you are doing that your channel is struggling to get any traction. And the reason for this is because a niche, one of the good things about a niche, one of the things that actually helps you with is positioning yourself, so that people actually know what it is that you're doing, not just you, but the algorithm. And when I say the algorithm is just there to try and find you the people that you're looking to speak to. But if you don't know who you're speaking to, then it's very difficult for the whole thing to work. So when I think about an algorithm, I don't think about it in a technical way. I just think about it as imagine it's like a human that's trying to position you so that it can try and attract the people that you're actually trying to speak to. But if you don't know what that is, then it's very difficult for the whole thing to work. But anyway, like a traditional niche, it's seen more as like a market segment. So, and when you think about a market segment, like in a marketing way, when you're trying to come up with a product, you think about one person with one problem and you have one offer. And that's it. And that offer helps them move through that problem. That's it. That's the tradition of a niche. So yes, when you think about starting a YouTube channel or you're thinking about starting a business, whatever it may be, and you're trying to fit into a market segment, this is where you can start to feel boxed in because you're looking at demand. Like, what do people need? And then I'll fulfill that demand. And then over time, you're not doing something that you actually really love and you'll end up feeling boxed in and burnt out. And this is where it all ends up turning to shit. So the difference between a niche, like a standard market-driven niche, and a mission-driven niche is that a mission-driven niche isn't something that you choose. It's something that evolves. So your mission is something that you've been doing all along. And often your mission is completely guided by your values. And your values don't change. Your core values don't change. This is something that I've explored a lot in my own life, with friends, with family, with clients, all this sort of stuff, where when you start to get clear on what your core values are, it's pretty clear that everything that you've been doing is a result of you trying to align yourself with those values. So imagine, like, when you're feeling alive, when you're feeling like everything's going great, think about it. Think about those moments in your life where you actually really do feel like life is amazing. Like, tune into that emotion, tune into that feeling, and look at what the value is. Look at what the underlying value would be of that. And you'll start to see that underlying value ends up informing all the things that you do in your life, all the things that you want to do in your life. Often we don't get to do all the things that we want to do in our life because we get dragged around by society and culture kind of telling us what we should and shouldn't do and all this sort of stuff. And we end up picking a job, picking a niche, picking a market segment that we don't like. We're just doing it because the world told us we should probably do that so we can make some cash or whatever and do all the things that we need to do to, be a human being in this world. So for me, I've never done that. I've always been driven by mission. I've always been driven by values. So let me show you the clear difference. So having a mission-led niche, the reason why you probably think it looks like I've got a niche is because I'm talking about YouTube growth. I'm talking about all this sort of stuff, like trying to help you build YouTube channels. But that's not really what I'm doing here. Building YouTube channels is a fundamental piece of what I'm doing here, but building a YouTube channel is clearly only one part. It's the distribution platform that you use to expand the reach of your ideas. But for me, it's more important about the ideas that you have. So I'm on a mission to empower a new wave of creators to drive impact. That's what my mission is. My mission comes from the mission that I've always been on. The mission that I've always been on through making films, through everything I've been doing in my life, has always been based on my core value, which is freedom. And everything that I've done has been based on that. So the films that I've been making have always been about showing people that there is a different way of living. that we don't have to be boxed into these very specific sort of paths that have been laid out for us through culture. So for me, I never took that path. So I was like, okay, I want to show people how awesome life can be if you choose not to do it. And these are the different things that you can do. And if you do this, you can live life with a more clear mind. And when you have a more clear mind, you can be more present. When you're more present, you just feel fully immersed, in your life, as opposed to being, dragged around by somebody else's ideals. So when you think about the mission that I'm on a mission to empower a new wave of creators to drive impact. That is what I do. That is the main thing. So when you come into my programs or when you're working with me one-on-one, so much of it is about understanding who you are, understanding what your story is, understanding the experiences that you've been through, the transformations that you've been through, so that you can reverse engineer all that sort of stuff, so you can understand all the conflicts and the problems and all this sort of stuff that you've been through, and then speak to somebody that's trying to move through that. So the reason why this is more mission-led is because it comes from your direct experience. You're not picking a market segment that feels like something you can learn and fill a demand. It's just a natural evolution of what it is that you're doing. So the reason that I have the skills and the tools and the insight to be able to do this is because this has been my focus for my whole life. All of these things that I'm doing in my program and everything that I'm doing here is all based on my own direct experience that have been driven by those values. My mission has never changed. So yes, it looks like I'm stuck in a niche showing you how to build YouTube channels, but I'm just showing you the importance of having a YouTube channel. I'm showing you why a YouTube channel is the most effective way to be able to expand the reach of your ideas so that you can drive impact and reach the people that need you the most. That's it. It's the mechanism, So what I do here goes so far beyond, thumbnails and titles, algorithm, like this is how you make a video. There's lots of people that are doing that online. I could do that, no problem, but it's not, I don't feel like it's the best use of my time for my front-facing videos. That's the sort of stuff that we do tackle and get into within my programs. But the most important thing for me to do to be able to attract the people that I'm speaking to is to really just express the benefits of being able to use a platform like this so that you can drive impact, so that you can take that lived experience, those ideas that you feel are hyper valuable, the kind of things that have helped you in your life move through different experiences. And now you know that you've got the tools and the insight to be able to take somebody else through the same thing. But often what I've recognized through working with people is that most people, you may have gone through the experience and had the insight and all that sort of stuff, but it's very often difficult to be able to extract that, and actually put it into a story and understand the origin story and understand the exact different steps that you went through. So what I do is offer the clarity around your own story, getting clear on that, moving through your own conflicts, your own resistances, your own struggles, getting clear on what those struggles are, getting clear on what the vision is, getting clear on what the mission is, so that you can speak with clarity, to the people that actually need you. One of the things I hear coming up on this channel from many of you is that you like the fact that I can just sit down and speak like this. A lot of my videos don't have cuts. The reason I can do this is because I'm driven by the mission. I'm driven by the fact that I care. I care about you. I care about you being able to do the thing that you need to do most. Okay? I care about it because this is something that drives me. Like I said, I'm driven to drive impact. So instead of me just making one channel that can drive impact on one particular subject, like it could have just been on philosophy or self-awareness or filmmaking or cinematography, whatever it may be, I have the ability to be able to do that. But instead of just taking one channel and speaking to one piece of the one little slither of the market, I could speak to loads of people that want to drive impact and be able to empower loads of people to do what it is that I'm doing, as opposed to me just offering guidance, so it's more offering guidance to people so that they can do the same. So if I'm doing it, it's one person, but if I can empower 100,000, 10,000, 100,000 people to take the insight that they've discovered through the life that they've lived, to be able to project that out into the world through YouTube and attract the people that need the most and actually be helpful and drive impact, then that's my mission that has been complete. That's what I'm doing here. So again, It may look like I'm stuck in a niche, but I'm not. YouTube is completely freeing for me. And again, how many times have I said it? I'm not here to be a YouTuber. I'm not here to, YouTube has never been the end goal. YouTube is only the distribution platform for your ideas. But the ideas is what matters. The impact that it creates is the transformation. And once you've offered that transformation, then your mission is complete. So your mission becomes the compass. So again, yes, having a niche where you're just trying to fit into the market, trying to see that there's a demand out there, and then just trying to kind of cater to that demand, that can be very boring, But when you are speaking to a particular kind of person, like I'm speaking to you, person that wants to drive impact, I'm speaking to you because I care about it, not just because of this channel, but because that's what I've always done. It's driven by my core values. You never feel boxed in. You always feel free. So maybe I'll be doing this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Who knows? I don't know how long I'll do this for. But the mission and the values will always stay the same. To empower people, to show people that we can live a different way. This is what I do. This is my thing. So I hope that gives you some clarity around what it is that we do here. So if you're looking to try and figure out how it is that you can discover your own niche, your own mission, just think about what it is that you've been through in your own life. Trace the steps back, get clear on the most valuable things that you have done that have been helpful for you, and work out what that is. And then share that, share that because you care, you see, you recognize the value because it's been so impactful in your life. And now you are able to take that knowledge, take that insight, and be able to package it up and share it through YouTube. YouTube is a distribution platform, but it doesn't all happen here. My program happens out here, not in YouTube. YouTube is the tool, the mechanism to be able to get the ideas out and bring people in. That's it. So hopefully that offers some clarity. If you're interested in this, I do have the school community. Come find me. I'll leave a link in the description below. And I'd love to know in the comments, let me know how you feel. Are you struggling to find your mission? What is your biggest challenges? Let me know. I'll answer you in the questions. Until then, I will see you next time.